Welcome everyone, I am Amarachi Ubani. Diplomatic Channel this week takes a look at three main issues: the attack on Nigerians in India, the formal notification of Brexit to the European Union, and the Middle East peace talks on Syria holding in Geneva, Switzerland. But let's begin with the attacks on Nigerians in India. The Indian government is working to dispel the impression that Indians are racists and picking on blacks in communities, blaming them for the littlest of offences and beating up anyone at the slightest provocation, landing innocent people in hospital. That's what has happened to 5 Nigerian students who were attacked by crowds on Monday outside a shopping mall in Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh, during a demonstration against the death of a local teenager due to drug overdose. His parents blamed the Nigerian students, who were probably his friends, saying that they gave him the drugs. The battered Nigerians spoke about their experience while in hospital.
I don't drink, I don't womanize, I don't do any stupid thing in this country. But for Indians to come and attack me just for no reason, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. But the only thing I'm saying, if they don't want us in this country, they should let us know. We'll go back to our country, and Indian embassy should come back, and our embassy should go back. They should not issue us any visa. We'll stay in our country.
Officials from the Nigerian High Commission visited the young men in hospital, and back here, the Minister of Foreign Affairs said it would be investigating the matter. And then we heard from the Indian government about the launch of an impartial investigation into the attack. The Indian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sushma Swaraj, assured the upper house of the Indian Parliament it will bring the culprits to book. The UK made history on Wednesday when it submitted a letter formally notifying the European Union of her intentions to leave the bloc. Needless to say, the Union was sad about it, but promises Brexit will be on its own terms.
When UK Prime Minister Theresa May put pen to paper to draft the letter that would be presented to the EU Council President Donald Tusk later on Wednesday, it was described as a starting gun that would begin a process with no opportunity of turning back.
Statement, the Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Addressing Parliament that day, Mrs May said the UK government was acting on the democratic will of the British people, who would now get the opportunity to make their own decisions and laws and take control of things that matter most, to build a stronger, fairer Britain in which their children and grandchildren could be proud to call home. She also tried to allay fears for the challenges ahead as it tries to maintain relations with the EU.
I have been clear that the deep and special partnership we seek is in the best interests of the United Kingdom and of the European Union too. I have been clear that we will work constructively in a spirit of sincere cooperation to bring this partnership into being. And I have been clear that we should seek to agree the terms of this future partnership alongside those of our withdrawal within the next 2 years. We will take control of our own laws and bring an end to the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice in Britain. Leaving the European Union will mean that our laws will be made in Westminster, Edinburgh, Cardiff and Belfast, and those laws will be interpreted by judges not in Luxembourg but in courts across this country. We will strengthen the union of the 4 nations that comprise our United Kingdom.
While reactions varied across Europe on what the future of the UK partnership would be, the EU maintains a hard look on the future. EU Council President Donald Tusk says talks between the EU and Britain to negotiate the country's exit will be difficult and sometimes confrontational, adding there would be no parallel talks on issues outside of that. He sent a letter to the other 27 member states of the EU containing his proposed negotiating guidelines for Brexit talks before presenting the main principles in Malta.
There is no such thing as a Brexit bill or penalty for leaving. We want to talk just about fairness and commitments. I have no doubt that for both sides it's really important to demonstrate that we want to be fair to each other during the negotiations.
EU leaders are calling for unity to fight populism. There is fear the Brexit could inspire more exits, but for now, all attention is focused on maintaining a strong union for as long as is possible.
Former Regional Director of the UK's Directorate for International Development, Shino Fagbemi-Byron, joins us now for more. Mr. Fagbemi-Byron, thank you so much for joining us on Diplomatic Channel.
Thank you for having me.
It was on Wednesday that the UK Prime Minister Theresa May submitted that formal notification to the EU informing them of Britain's intentions to leave the bloc. Yes. What did you make of, the circumstances surrounding that day and, the whole process of it all? The process to submitting the letter and all the...
Yes. I think, the entire episode is a reverberation from the time of the referendum. The referendum itself generated so much excitement, so much passion, and but even the referendum at that time didn't actually consider the final details of Article 50, the Lisbon Agreement, which provides the procedure at which any of the forming nations of the European Commission, how the Union, how they could exit. And so now when the reality is dawned and it's been passed by Parliament and Article 50 has indeed been triggered, people are now considering the various dimensions. Dimensions in terms of now they have to start negotiating. Now Britain has to be very clear as to what it wants to do, how it wants to exit, and what it wants to take away from the exit. The European Union itself would have to be very clear as to what it is going to give. And of course I can understand, because they don't want to set a precedent that it'll just be easy to walk in and walk out of the Union.